Hey everyone, welcome to your Universe Z, the place where we talk all about the Dragon Ball universe. Today we are going to go through Goku, scaring everyone when transforming into Oozaru and activating the superior instinct. And if you would like to see more Dragon Ball content, please leave your like and subscribe to join our Universe Z. Higher Instinct is a power ability that requires a great deal of training in order to be used to its full, maximum extent. Then again, the Oozaru transformation also requires this kind of effort on the part of the one who desires power, so that he can finally become more powerful. Would it be possible to mix both transformations? Would this mixture of powers look like? Person really become more powerful? What would this transformation look like visually? In today's video we will see a little bit about each transformation and how it could be the mixture of both into one. To begin with, what exactly is the Great Ape? Read in Japanese as Oozaru. He is a giant, anthropomorphic, ape-like creature that the Saiyans of Universe 7 can transform into the full moon, or a similar object, to tremendously increase their already formidable strength. Dragon Ball GT. Perfect File speculates that the Saiyans were originally great apes who gained intelligence and took on a humanoid form. For the transformation to occur, the Saiyan needs to have a tail, as the glands responsible for initiating the transformation are located exclusively in it. Saiyan also needs to absorb at least 17 million Xeno units of Blutz waves through its eyes to initiate the transformation. Blutz waves are found only in sunlight reflected by a moon. If there is no moon, a planetary body will reflect the same number of rays. Easiest way to achieve this is to look at a full moon, making Saiyans similar to werewolves in that respect. If any cloud covered the moon or a planetary body, it would block certain amounts of radiation. Vegeta once transformed by shooting Power Ball, which is a fake moon, reflecting the required amount of Blutz rays in the air and then looking at it. A device on board the Saiyans' attack pods also projects a hologram of a moon that was realistic enough to allow the Blutz waves to be reflected in the event of their landing on a planet that does not have a moon, as evidenced by an incident in which Gohan became the Great Ape while training to fight the Saiyans before their invasion due to the reactivation of Goku's attack pod. In Dragon Ball Z, the Tree of Power, Tells did the same thing to cause a transformation in Gohan as a joke, because he knew he was powerful enough to handle him. According to Tells in the same movie, the residual effect of the Power Ball would keep Gohan, and any other transformed Saiyan, in his Great Ape form for a limited period of time, even if the Power Ball was destroyed. One can assume that because it is so close to the planet, weather conditions do not affect the radiation output of the Power Ball. If a natural source of Blutz waves were destroyed or the tail were amputated, this would cause the Saiyan to transform instantly back to its humanoid form. In Dragon Ball Online, a Saiyan cannot be transformed to this form if he is wearing a mask provided by the Time Breakers, as it blocks the Blutz waves no matter how much time is spent looking at the moon. However, in Dragon Ball Heroes, it is shown that if the mask is broken, the Saiyan's ability to transform is also restored, as shown when Time Breaker Bardock transforms after his mask is broken. In Dragon Ball Super, Broly, Paragus warns Beats against looking at Vampa's moon and points out to Beats who have never transformed that the form should only be used as a last resort, indicating that experienced Saiyan warriors generally avoid transforming unless absolutely necessary, especially if they do not have full control over it. Power level of a Great Ape is equal to the Saiyan's power level before the transformation multiplied by 10, although in Dragon Ball Z, KYSH, Saiyan he multiplies it by 4. It is unclear whether the speed increases proportionally, but according to Goku, at least the Saiyan remains as fast as before the transformation. A Saiyan's tail will not grow back if they exceed the power of their Great Ape form in its basic form. Skin color of the Great Ape is usually brown and the eyes are also red. A Saiyan loses the ability to reason in this form and usually exhibits frantic and destructive characteristics, even in the cases of protagonists. In Yamcha's words, when Goku transforms like this, he loses all sense of self. He's just a big, hairy monkey with a sweet tooth for tearing people's limbs off. However, they can still recover some sense of friend and foe deep in their subconscious, as was demonstrated when Goku was able to make Gohan Big Monkey attack Vegeta and Gohan recognizing the Dragon Icarus. Kuririn theorized that the Half-Earth Saiyans who transformed retained their human mind, allowing their loved ones to cross over them. Team Bardock was able to focus on attacking their Konosan enemies, avoiding attacking each other, despite exhibiting the same berserker mentality that Goku and Gohan did in the form. Despite their lack of self-awareness, as Saiyans mature, they can be taught to control their instincts and maintain normal cognitive functions as great apes. This was exhibited by Vegeta, who unlike Goku and Gohan, received this training and was even able to speak. However, in the video games, it is implied that only super elites like Vegeta and his father or elite Saiyans like Nappa are able to keep their reason in this form, while lower class Saiyans like Tulls and Raditz are not. Saiyans who retain their reason in this form are able to utilize their power to the fullest and, as shown by Vegeta, can even transform into their golden Great Ape form from their Great Ape form, which allows them to easily transform into Super Saiyan 4, as their ability to retain their reason transfers to the golden Great Ape form. Saiyans can still manipulate their energy in this state for feats such as flying and shooting lightning, most commonly from their mouth in a manner similar to, and possibly an intentional homage to Godzilla's atomic breath. Since the transformation causes the Saiyan to grow several times their original size, Saiyans wear special armor that can stretch to fit the great ape form and shrink to fit their normal form. Goku and Gohan don't have this since they live on Earth, so the transformation rips off their clothes, meaning they return to their normal forms naked. The process of transforming back to normal seems to be very exhausting, as even Vegeta, a fully trained Saiyan and super elite, became breathless from the experience, while Goku and Gohan were always unconscious. Would Goku in this form, while transformed, be able to use his superior instinct? Although during the transformation one becomes quite violent and almost without any awareness of what he is doing, with a little training, it might be possible. However, this would cause him to need to train both his consciousness in this form and the Ultra Instinct itself, which would need to be used unconsciously, and not by striving to do so. Ultra Instinct is a very rare and highly advanced mental state. It is notorious among the gods for being exceptionally difficult to master, even for them. This ability can only really be used when the transformation that allows one to use it is achieved. This transformation must then be completed and refined. It is, however, possible to use this ability, or its principles, to a limited degree without the transformation. Superior Instinct is considered the absolute peak for those who master the martial arts. It effectively allows each part of the user's body to think and move independently of all other parts, as opposed to how a person normally has to think about their movements beforehand and let the command travel from the brain and through the nervous system, a sequence that wastes precious fighting time since the command signals only travel through the nerves so fast. With every part of the body able to think and act on its own, the user of this technique is able to automatically react to any situation or threat with the perfect movement at the perfect timing. They don't even need to recognize the threat, which means that the user can still fight effectively even if they are concentrating on something else. While Superior Instinct seems to make the user virtually unbeatable, it is not an absolute guarantee against all dangers, as shown by Whis being oblivious to stepping in poop or when Goku managed to bite Whis to escape his grasp, possibly because they were not of genuine danger to his being as they were such obscure threats. Furthermore, it is also seen that someone with colossal raw power can bypass Superior Instinct's instantaneous defense boost. In fact, if the users of the skill face each other and one of them has a higher refinement of Superior Instinct than the other, they will have an advantage and can bypass the instant defense without inconvenience. While the use of the skill can make the user's vital points extremely difficult to target, it is still possible for an immensely focused attack to occur if the user is not careful, as demonstrated by Granola's evolved right eye. In the anime, since Superior Instinct is a technique of the gods, for mortals without sufficient divine training there is a great risk in using Superior Instinct. Similar to the reckless overuse of Kaioken, the user can only sustain the absolute power of the ability for only a minute or so before his body breaks down from straining far beyond its natural limits. When this time limit is reached, blood will rupture from the user's body and the dark key electric shocks will cause severe pain and eventually force them into unconsciousness. In more severe cases, Whis noted that it could kill the user. In the manga, there is no such risk, as a mortal user will only be worn out after using Superior Instinct for some time. In any case, in both the anime and manga, once the mortal has the proper training and is able to access the ability at will, he will no longer be at risk of suffering the adverse effects. According to Whis, however, even once a mortal has mastered the form, there is still a time limit on the form. This was shown during Goku's battle with Granola, as if he had an advantage due to the use of his enhanced Ultra Instinct form. Her accuracy dropped during the course of the fight, until Granola could once again attack him. Ultimately, both the Oozaru transformation and Superior Instinct are transformations that require a grandiose amount of training to use to their fullest extent. For Goku, in particular, it will take even more effort on his part. However, as we know well, he is someone determined and strong enough to be able to learn anything after training and putting himself in grandiose risk situations. Could expect, yes, after a good training of both techniques, an Oozaru transformation with Superior Instinct activated, which would make the character absurdly powerful in this situation. What would his appearance be like? Would we have a completely silver Oozaru? What would his range of power be? What do you think this mixture of transformations would be like? Leave your opinion on this in the comments. That's it. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions for videos, don't forget to comment here below, because I'll be reading all of them as I always do. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any content from your Universe Z.